The Winker Bank is legendary when you look back at it today, but in those days when you were first starting out, maybe not quite so well known, but the heart of it was Brendan Ingle. Just how big an influence was he on, well, not so much your career, but your entire life, really, I guess.
Brendan Ingle, an amazing man. It's 2 years this year that Brendan passed away. An amazing guy. Where's that coming from? Wait a minute. Where's that come from? Right, start again. Start again. Yeah, Brendan, amazing guy. 2 years away. 2 years away, he passed away. But as a youngster, a great influence. This guy was so smart. Our gym wouldn't be our gym if it wasn't for him. He spent time on kids that he didn't have to. He spent time on developing them, not to be champions, not to be fighters, but to be young men. I'll always have utmost respect for him.
Fast forward to January 1990. You got the opportunity to fight for the world title for the first time, the WBC, Carlos de Leon. Sheffield City Hall as well. And you end up coming away with what was, let's be fair, a bit of a stinker of a draw. And you got absolutely pilloried, didn't you?
I came away with more than I bargained for. And I think going into that, Brendan, and he kept saying it to me before that fight, you haven't got the confidence to match your ability, but it'll come. This is going to be an experience for you that'll make or break you, that will change your life. I didn't quite understand what he was saying, and an amazing foresight. So when it came to that De Leon fight, and obviously it was a border, when I got in the ring, I froze, I looked and I thought, you know, these people are expecting me to pull this off. I didn't have the confidence, and if I'd have won the fight, I'd probably lost it in the next one. I was a boy in a man's body. And I can remember Brendan pleading with me, shouting, screaming at me, come on Johnny, get on with it. He was trying everything to crack that nut, to get inside me, in my head. It just didn't work. I brought shame on the gym. I brought shame on Sheffield boxing. I brought shame on boxing here for the UK because people thought, is that how Brits fight? And he said, you've got to stick at it. The penny will drop. Stick at it. Ignore the haters. Ignore them. You've got to stick at it because it will affect every aspect of your life.
How hard is it to do that, though? Because you were getting abused on the street. You were getting people in restaurants shouting at you. You were getting cartoonists making cartoons in local papers about you, about that fight. And you, how the hell did you deal with that?
Phrase, it was in national papers, and it was hard. It was horrible. It was dark to the point where there's been two dark times in my life, and one was that night, and one was the night when I had to retire. So that night there was the first night I saw the good and bad of human nature. I saw how people can be so fickle, so cruel, so condescending, so inconsiderate. But I was a boy and didn't understand how to deal with it. The hardest thing was to bite your lip. And I'm the kind of kid, if I get upset or angry, I start to cry. So I'm thinking, stay away from them, Johnny, because they're going to think that you're bubbled. You're going to think that you're scared of them. But I was getting it everywhere. I didn't come out of my house. And I've said it before, and I've got to word it right. And if I was, so I think this is the right wording. If I was a weak man, I would have. I'm trying to think. No, if I was a strong man, I would have ended it. The reason why I say that is because it was horrible. You were getting it everywhere. It's the worst. So I was weak, you know, and so I didn't have the bottle to do that. I didn't have the bottle or the guts, you know, and that's what I'm saying. Now, so when people do this, they've got to be very strong, very focused. They've got to be very on it. It doesn't make them cowards. They've got to be quite the opposite. And I was too scared. You know, I just thought, and then I thought about all the consequences of the people that are around me, and I thought about upsetting the likes of Brendan or my mum and my brothers and sister, and I just locked myself away. I went from my house to the gym. my house to the gym. The only people I spoke to was my mum, my dad, my brothers and sisters, and Brendan. House to gym. This went on for about 6 months. As time went on, he did some really unorthodox things, and I tell the story about he put an advert in the local newspaper.
It's for the sparring session. 750 quid to spend a week with Johnny in the sparring sessions.
Johnny Nelson wants to thank the Sheffield public, which I didn't. Wants to thank the Sheffield public for their support in his draw to Carlos de Leon for the WBC title. He now reaches out and asks us for one more, for the help of you to basically. He wants a sparring partner. He'll pay £750 for anybody that can help him prepare for his next fight. Brendan told me about this on the Friday, and I thought it's another one of Brendan's harebrained ideas. All right, no problem. This went in the Sheffield Star on the Saturday, and I still didn't see it. You know, I just paid no attention. I just didn't want to read no papers. I didn't want to read no magazines to say good thing about things, bad things about you. I just think you don't know me. On the Sunday morning, I went to the gym. The first door, boom, hit somebody. I thought, what's happening here? Because the street was packed out. There's a church across the road. I thought there must be a service on. And I walked in the gym, the door hit somebody. I walked in, it was packed out. And I'm like, what's going on here? I went up to Brendan and said to Brendan, what's going on, Brendan? Who's coming? And he said, did you not see the article in the paper? And I'm like, what? He said, they've come for you. They've come for the money. So straight away I turned into that little boy again that's so angry that wants to cry because all these people are there to thinking they can beat me up. And I'm like, you dogs. Bottom lip starts to go. He said, fix yourself up, go and get changed. Get over there and get changed. So I went to the other side of the ring. I'm getting changed. And Brendan got in the ring. As he got in the ring, he opened an envelope and pulled 3 white feathers out of this envelope. He said, does anybody know what this stands for? Great holding an audience. And some guy said, when you're in the Foreign Legion, they said what they give you when you're a coward. He said, correct. He said, I've been getting these letters every week since Johnny Nelson boxed Carlos de Leon. And can the man who wrote this letter come and read the letter for us? And I'm like, I'm actually here, you know, I'm here, I can hear it all, I'm in the room. I thought, Brendan, what are you doing? This guy, dressed like Rambo, tie head on, vest on, army trousers, army boots. He said, me. He said, we saw the fight. My missus said, he's rubbish him. We need a 3-piece suite. Go down and get that money. So I've come down for the money. And Brendan said, do you understand what you've got to do? He said, yeah, I've got to spar with him for a week, 750 quid, yeah. And Brendan said, do you understand what you're getting into? He said, yeah, he's rubbish. I've seen him. He's ashamed. I'm ashamed of him. I'm ashamed to say I'm from Sheffield. He's saying this in front of me whilst I'm lacing up my boots. Now I'm like, now so yeah, I'm stuck because I'm thinking, Johnny, pull yourself together and batter this fella. Brendan said, come on up, and everybody's like, oh, he's going to kick off here. I am so angry, and even out of all that, and Brendan sees that his boy, me, is so hurt, so heartbroken, so. In a state. When I got in the ring, he pulled me over to the corner. He said, you behave yourself. He said, just slip around, make him see how good you are, let him miss the shots, do not hit him. In my head, I'm thinking, I'm going to batter him. So I went, all right, Brendan. I thought, put this shit straight over. Off you go. So now, in my head, I'm thinking, right, do I knock him out? If I knock him out, he's going to be out cold, he can't feel a thing. I've got to hurt him so he's in pain. Because this guy was like, I've never been so hurt by what someone could say. More than any racial abuse, it was personal. It really hurt. So I thought, I'll let him in his throat. I just swallow his gum shield. I know it's bad. And this guy came to rush in, but he put his head down as I went to hit him in his throat, and I hit him on the forehead. Whoa, he went down on the floor. Whoa, wait. I've not come for this. And I'm like, get up.
Well, what did he come for then?
Exactly, I'm like, get up. I'm mad now. Brendan said, just stay down. Avarice said, no, Brendan, let him get up. No, stay down. So Brendan knows he's going to get done. And so the guy, as he's up and he looked up, he pulled one glove off and jumped out the ring and pulled the other one off. So I ran after him, and Brendan shouted, "Shut the door! Do not let Johnny Nelson out of here!" Fella shot off. He shot off. I was so angry. And then all these people that I'd said hello to coming into the gym, they've obviously come for the money. So now I'm really, excuse my French, off. So I thought, all right, we'll find out. Come on, let's get in. About 3 people got in. They all didn't last a round. And all the, like Jamie said, "Oh, Johnny, just come to watch me." I thought, you dog. And I had to learn a harsh lesson that people, never be surprised by human nature. And whatever my opinion is, or whatever I think you're thinking, that's you. The most important person in this world is me. So I've got to sort myself out. I can't worry about what you're thinking, if you like me or if you don't like me, if you think I'm an idiot or not. I've got to think about me. Because once I'm consumed about what you think of me, then I'm living your life. I'm doing exactly what you want. I've got to be indifferent. I can't hate you. I can't love you. I've just got to be indifferent. Think everybody's entitled to an opinion. So slowly but surely, I had to learn a harsh lesson in how to deal with people, human nature. Things have changed so much. Guys, and you know, we all have issues. Guys are the worst. We're our own worst enemy because we don't talk. We think it means we're weak. But now, because of the likes of Tyson Fury, because of the likes of Ricky Hatton, because people are now speaking out, even because of this, you know, sometimes I get a bit embarrassed, like getting a bit emotional, choked up about Brendan. I don't anymore because I loved him. He was a good man. So I've got no shame in saying that, you know what, I nearly took my own life because I was in that much despair. But really, I probably didn't. I probably thought I was going to. I was that weak, I was that low. But the more I spoke about it, the more I understand it. But the more it's inspiring other people to speak. Because when you speak up, when the words come out of your mouth, then all of a sudden you can start to understand and think, well, actually, but if you keep them there and you don't share them with anybody, you know, that will drive you insane. It's called looping. You will loop over it over and over again, and it will do your head in. Our sport is supposed to be one of those macho sports where we're not supposed to be weak. We're not supposed to cry. You know, I'm a former world champion, defended it 13 times. I've set a Guinness Book of Records. If I can tell you about my vulnerabilities and how weak I felt, if Tyson Fury, the heavyweight champion of the world, can tell you his story about how dark he felt, it doesn't make you any less of a man if you tell your story. Because I'm basically saying to you, speak up. And to me, it's the most important thing, because I've seen so many lives wasted. I've seen so many ex-fighters end up in hospitals, end up in a bad situation because they didn't speak up. But now, because of the likes of Tyson, because of the likes of Ricky Hatton and many other fighters, now all of a sudden people are thinking, well, actually, don't make me any less of a man. Don't make me any less of a woman. You know, once you can speak and start opening your mouth, you will come across somebody that will be your Brendan. And once you find that Brendan, that person will be, no matter for 5 minutes or for life, will be that key person that makes you understand, you know what, maybe you've got it wrong. Maybe you should look at it differently. And don't be offended or upset when you speak to people and they don't understand. They just don't understand. They're not being mean or spiteful. They just don't understand. Speak to somebody else. You'll know who that person is, because that person will have a selfless attitude when they're speaking to you, because they don't benefit from helping you. And so then all of a sudden you'll think, you know what, it's you. You're my Brendan.